Hey, friends, welcome back to the Lead with Heart podcast. Today feels different. This isn't an interview. This is one of those episodes that comes straight from my heart because sharing a decision that honestly took courage. I have officially pressed pause on the podcast for the first quarter of 2026. Not forever, not because I'm quitting, but because I'm choosing clarity. And I want to share with you what led to this decision, what reflecting on 2025 has shown me, what I'm witnessing across the nonprofit world right now, who I need to thank for holding this mission with me, and what I truly hope for all of us moving forward. If you know me, you know I love podcasting. This show has been so sacred to me. Every conversation, every story, every vulnerable share. They've given me hope that heart centered leadership is not only possible, it's rising. But here's the truth: when you become crystal clear on your one thing, the hard decisions stop looking like sacrifices and start looking like alignments. My one thing is building the Lead with Heart Summit at the highest possible level, not as another conference, but as what it's meant to be: a first of its kind mental health and emotional leadership summit for nonprofit leaders. This isn't something I can casually build on the side because let me tell you, I've tried. Between podcast interviews and client calls and picking up the kids from school, this sort of summit requires deep presence, deep thinking, and deep creation. December and the first quarter of 2026 needs to belong to deep work and not divided attention. The pause isn't about doing less, it's about doing what matters most. And clarity does not make decisions painless, it makes them purposeful. If I'm fully honest, the decision came from a wake up call because I realized that even though my mission is emotional sustainability, I wasn't fully practicing it. I was trying to do everything: producing content, coaching leaders, building workshops, growing the summit, traveling for speaker engagements, and being present for my family. I had to admit something uncomfortable. Just because we are capable of doing something does not mean we have the capacity to do it all at the same time. And I noticed something even deeper. I had been staying busy to prove something, to avoid slowing down, to outrun uncomfortable emotions instead of sitting with them. And I asked myself, who am I trying to prove anything to? Because when the balls start crashing, our nervous system suffers, our families feel it first, our teams feel stretched, and our leadership clarity dissolves. This pause is me choosing to align my leadership with what I teach: sustainability before success. And as I wrap up 2025, I carry a mixture of gratitude and concern. Gratitude for this community and concern for how deeply stretched so many leaders are. This year was heavy, and I don't say that lightly. Across the sector, I saw leaders emotionally exhausted, not just tired, high turnover disrupting teams, development professionals holding donor fatigue, executive directors carrying financial pressure alone, boards struggling to engage without overwhelming staff, managers trying to motivate people while running on empty themselves. The question I heard repeatedly: is this supposed to feel this hard? My answer is: leadership is not easy, but it was never meant to be this lonely or this unsustainable. What I've seen is a sector full of heart and a dangerously under-resourced emotionally. We teach strategy, we teach fundraising, we teach planning, but rarely do we teach leaders how to regulate stress, how to build psychological safety, how to manage emotional conflict, or how to sustain themselves over decades instead of just seasons. Leaders aren't leaving because they lost passion. They are leaving because caring became unsafe to carry alone. And that realization ignited everything behind this summit. And before I go any further, I need to pause for something deeply important. I need to recognize my core team. the women who hold this mission with me every single day. You are the steady hands behind the big vision. You manage logistics, you coordinate communications, you create systems, you support clients, you keep timelines moving, and you remind me to breathe when I push too hard. You bring excellence and humanity to this work. Because of you, my clients are well supported, the podcast runs smoothly, my ideas become real, and my voice can stay focused on leadership rather than logistics. The work looks visible because you quietly make it possible. You are not behind the scenes, you are behind the mission, and I am endlessly thankful for you. And I also want to thank the Lead with Heart Summit team, Angela Barnes and Shimani, the women who are stepping forward to help create something that hasn't existed before. Summit team, you are pioneering this space together with me. From speaker coordination to content planning to sponsorship outreach to experience design, you are helping turn a heart level dream into an actual movement. This isn't a normal conference. We are building something emotionally bold, brave, and deeply human. And I could not do this level of visionary work without the team willing to step into the unknown with me. Thank you for believing in this mission. Thank you for holding the emotional integrity of this summit, not just the technical plans. I want to go back to leadership. And here's a leadership truth I've settled into. Momentum doesn't live in balance, it lives in clarity. We grow most powerfully when we stop scattering our energy, we stop chasing productivity as proof, and we start choosing depth over wit. Leadership maturity is knowing when to say, "This gets my full yes," and everything else can lovingly wait. Pausing does not mean quitting, it means honoring our nervous systems and our purpose. As we close out 2025, I want to leave you with your leadership gut check. What sacrifice are you avoiding because it feels scary? Where might you be choosing busyness instead of clarity? And what deserves your focused energy next year? And what needs to be lovingly paused? The answer to those questions holds your next breakthrough. Right now, my heart and my mind are fully on the Lead with Heart Summit, an experience centered on nervous system healing for nonprofit leaders, emotional sustainability training, attachment informed leadership development, psychological safety on teams and boards, community, not competition. I'm creating a space where leaders finally get what they give so freely: support. My hope is that as we move forward, we stop glorifying burnout as dedication, we normalize boundaries as leadership wisdom, we invest in emotional sustainability, not just productivity. And we build nonprofit cultures where leaders don't have to choose between impact and health. Your leadership matters too. Your mental health matters too. So I'm pressing pause, not on the podcast forever, not on my mission ever, but on one channel to make room for something extraordinary to grow. This show will come back, but this season of deep building is necessary to bring something rare into the world. Thank you for walking through 2025 with me. Thank you for trusting me. And thank you for leading with heart every single day. Remember, the thing you're most afraid to pause might be exactly what makes room for the leadership breakthrough you've been waiting for. Lead with heart always. I'll see you soon.